Thanks for watching Mid-Morning this Friday. Authorities say a teenager used a semi-automatic rifle to kill 17 people at a high school in Florida last week.
Getting rid of those guns seems like a logical fix to advocates of gun control. But to do that, you really have to have a definition here. So what qualifies as an assault weapon? It's a good question that Heather Brown looked at this week. Let's start with some definitions for people, because I guess maybe we should start with what an automatic weapon is.
Right. Well, yeah, we can start with that because here you go. There's not a real agreement on what an assault weapon is, and that's part of the biggest issue with this whole debate is that people don't agree on what should be considered an assault
It's kind
weapon.
of a political term,
It is a political term.
Yeah.
To some people, mostly gun rights advocates, that's a term that's really loaded politically. They say it's a term that's used to instill fear in people. That's not actually kind of a type of weapon.
But automatic and semi-automatic,
Yes.
those are types of weapons.
Right, so those are. So what you have your automatic weapons, which is essentially a machine gun. You fire once and it keeps firing until you stop your hand off the trigger.
Hold the trigger and off it
Yes,
goes.
and those are, as you know, very hard.
Very hard to
Very
get.
hard to
People
get.
have this perception that automatic weapon.
No, it's very hard to get. It is legal, but it is very hard to get. Then there are semi-automatic weapons, and these are the ones they reload automatically, but you have to pull the trigger each time. But there are almost all of the rifles in the U.S., almost all of the shotguns, almost all of the pistols. They are all semi-automatic weapons. So when people talk about semi-automatic weapons, you're talking about almost all the guns in the United States.
Outside of handguns,
Yes.
right?
So when we're talking about an assault rifle ban, there was a definition of what that is,
Right.
but it was pretty unclear.
So back in 1994, people probably remember this, there was an assault weapons ban. It lasted for 10 years. It sunsetted in 2004. And what it did was it said that these semi-automatic weapons that have a certain number of military-style features, and those are a number of different things. Those can be things at the end of the rifle that make it so it suppresses the flash, so you don't see the light. Those can be a pistol grip, so you can hold on to the rifle more easily. Those can be a collapsible stock, so you can change the size of the rifle. So if Jason wanted to have the rifle, then he would give it to me, and I could change the size of it. It makes it easier to transport. It makes it easier for different people to shoot it.
So that would make it classified.
So two or more of those things would make it. They also got rid of large magazines, so high capacity magazines, so anything more than 10 rounds at a time.
So you could go pop, 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 pop 10 times.
10 times, but then you'd have to reload. Right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about what happened back then. There were a lot of weapons on that were exempted.
Like certain brands?
Yes, and what it only did was it prevented manufacturers from making new ones. So all of the old ones were still in the market. They were grandfathered in.
But the truth is, most of these school shootings we've had have been AR-15s,
Yes.
which is a specific type of rifle.
Absolutely.
Very popular because it's a great gun. It's light, it's easy to use,
People
it's
use
accurate
it for a
to
lot
fire.
of practice shooting. People use it to hunt
But
varmint.
most of them have been bought new. So I understand when people are saying like, oh, well, it doesn't prevent. No, it doesn't. But with the shootings at schools, most have been legally bought new.
It would have made it harder.
Yeah, so sometimes
do
when people
that,
bring
yeah.
up the old research when the old ban happened, well, we weren't having the shootings.
No.
Part of what they were saying is, hey, semi-automatic gun, it's handguns that are mostly used.
But it's good to get those definitions. Because I think that if you're not surrounded by it on a regular basis, you don't know what the difference is.
But even with those definitions, it's still a very controversial topic.
No question.
Okay. Well, luckily you had a much lighter topic.
This is
Yes, thankfully.
This is